now it's easier for me to just get through life alone. I'm just gonna get you a new purse. I'm just not gonna get you this. I'm just gonna get you that. And it's like, yeah, like that's gonna be cool because it's like, okay, now like I got it. But it's like, no, I just really wanted somebody that was there to just listen and just, somebody I could open up to.
So let me get this straight. Gigi allegedly cheated on Kai Cenat with NBA YoungBoy. That's the story. That's what everyone knows. That's what the internet has been talking about for weeks. But according to Gigi's recent video, the real reason they broke up was Kai's anime addiction. I'm sorry, what? Let me repeat that for the people in the back. She allegedly got caught talking to another man, NBA YoungBoy, no less. But when she finally addresses the breakup, her big explanation is, I just really wanted somebody I could open up to, and proceeds to blame Kai for watching too much anime. The math isn't matting. The story isn't storying. And something about this whole situation feels like we're being told a very edited version of events. So let's break down what actually happened here, what Gigi's video really said, and why this might be one of the wildest cases of blame shifting the internet has seen in a minute. Because this isn't just drama. This is a masterclass in deflection. And you're about to see exactly how it works. Welcome to the Celebrity Rap Den showroom, where the world of rap and celebrity gossip is always buzzing. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the drama. Let's dive in. Let's clarify the situation as we understand it. Kai Cenat, a prominent Twitch streamer, was dating a woman named Gigi, and they appeared to be happy together, sharing posts that led fans to view them as a couple goals. However, things took a turn for the worse. Reports and screenshots surfaced online suggesting that Gigi was allegedly seen messaging NBA YoungBoy in a manner that hinted at more than just friendship. Once the messages leaked, the internet reacted strongly, and Kai reportedly ended the relationship. This seemed like a typical cheating scandal. However, Gigi chose not to respond immediately. She remained silent for a while, which is often a wise strategy in the midst of cheating allegations, allowing the situation to cool down before presenting her perspective. Eventually, she released a video, but instead of directly addressing the messages with NBA YoungBoy, she shifted the focus entirely. She spoke about feeling emotionally neglected and her desire for someone to confide in. Then, in a surprising twist, she claimed that a significant factor in their breakup was Kai's anime addiction. Yes, you read that right, anime addiction. It's almost as if she was equating Kai's enjoyment of shows like Naruto to having a serious gambling or substance abuse problem, suggesting that his preference for anime over emotional connection was the real issue in their relationship. Now here's where you need to pay attention, because what Gigi did in that video is a textbook example of something called deflection. And if you've ever been in a relationship where someone did something wrong, but somehow made you feel like the bad guy, you've experienced this firsthand. Deflection works like this. Instead of addressing the actual issue, in this case, the alleged cheating, you shift the conversation to something else. You find a flaw in the other person, real or exaggerated, and you make that the focus. You turn their attention away from what you did and onto what they did, or what they didn't do, or what they didn't do enough of. In Gigi's case, the alleged issue was her talking to NBA YoungBoy inappropriately. That's what people were asking about. That's what needed explanation. But instead, she talked about Kai's anime habit. She talked about emotional unavailability. She said, I just really wanted somebody I could open up to. As if Kai watching Attack on Titan somehow prevented her from having deep conversations with him. And look, I'm not saying emotional neglect isn't real. I'm not saying people can't feel lonely in relationships, even when they're physically together. That's absolutely a thing that happens. But, and this is a big but, when you've been accused of cheating and your response is, well, actually, he wasn't emotionally available because of anime, that's not taking accountability. That's deflecting. It's the equivalent of getting caught stealing from a store and saying, well, the prices were too high, or the security guard was rude to me. Like, okay, maybe those things are true, but they don't justify or explain what you did. They're just distractions. And this is exactly where you need to hit that subscribe button, because we're about to dive into why this deflection strategy actually works on a lot of people, and how you can spot it when someone's trying to pull it on you. Hit that subscribe and turn on notifications right now, because understanding manipulation tactics isn't just about internet drama. It's about protecting yourself in your own relationships. Now back to the story. Let's talk about this anime addiction claim for a second, because it deserves its own section. What does that even mean? Kai Cenat is a streamer. His literal job involves being online, playing games, watching content, and entertaining an audience. Anime is part of internet culture. It's part of gaming culture. It's part of what he does for work and for fun. So when Gigi says he has an anime addiction, what she's really saying is, he has hobbies, he watches shows, he engages with content that she personally wasn't interested in. Because here's the thing, if Kai was genuinely addicted to anime in a way that was destroying their relationship, like ignoring her for days, canceling plans to watch episodes, choosing anime over spending time with her consistently, that would be a different conversation. That would be a legitimate relationship issue worth discussing. But there's zero evidence that's what was happening. No one who follows Kai has ever said, wow, this guy seems like he's got an unhealthy obsession with anime that's ruining his life. He streams. He hangs out with friends. He does his thing. He also watches anime, like millions of other people. So the anime addiction angle feels less like a real concern and more like a way to make Kai sound like he was the problem. It's a way to paint herself as the victim who was neglected by a boyfriend who cared more about fictional characters than his real relationship. It's strategic. It's calculated. And honestly, it's kind of genius in how manipulative it is. Because now, instead of everyone talking about did Gigi cheat with NBA YoungBoy, some people are talking about was Kai Cenat emotionally unavailable because of anime? She successfully changed the narrative. She took a story where she was allegedly in the wrong and found a way to make it about his flaws instead. But here's the twist that makes this whole situation even more sus. Gigi saying, I just really wanted somebody I could open up to, might actually be the most honest thing she said in that entire video. Just not in the way she meant it. Because think about it. If she was talking to NBA YoungBoy behind Kai's back, if there were messages happening that crossed boundaries, what was she getting from that interaction? Probably attention. Probably validation. Probably feeling like someone was listening to her in a way she claims Kai wasn't. That's not a justification for cheating. Let me be clear about that. If you're unhappy in a relationship, you communicate, you work on it, or you leave. You don't start emotional or physical affairs with other people and then blame your partner for forcing you into it because they weren't meeting your needs. But what it does tell us is that Gigi might have been genuinely feeling neglected or emotionally unfulfilled in the relationship. And instead of having a mature conversation with Kai about it, instead of saying, hey, I need more quality time with you, or I feel like we're not connecting on a deeper level, she sought that connection elsewhere. And when she got caught, she used that feeling of neglect as her defense. I just wanted somebody I could open up to isn't a justification. It's a confession. She's admitting that she went looking for emotional intimacy outside the relationship. The anime thing? That's just the excuse she's using to make it sound like she had no other choice. And here's where it gets really twisted. By framing it as Kai's anime addiction, she's making it sound like he had a problem. Like he was the one with the unhealthy habit. Like SHE was the victim of his issues. When in reality, she's the one who allegedly crossed boundaries, and now she's retroactively justifying it by saying he wasn't perfect either. That's not accountability. That's manipulation with a side of gaslighting. Now, most people watching this video probably aren't dating NBA YoungBoy or streaming to millions of people. But the pattern Gigi demonstrated? That happens in regular relationships every single day. Someone cheats or lies or breaks trust in some way. And instead of owning up to it, instead of saying, I messed up, here's why, and here's how I'm going to make it right, they flip the script. They find something their partner did wrong, or something that could be framed as wrong, and they make that the issue. You cheated? Well, you were always working late and neglecting me. You lied about money? Well, you're always criticizing how I spend, so I had to hide it. You went through their phone without permission? Well, you were being secretive, so I had to know what was going on. See the pattern? They take their wrongdoing and attach it to your failure, so that suddenly, it's not entirely their fault anymore. It's shared responsibility. You're both to blame. And if you're both to blame, then they don't have to fully own what they did. Gigi did this perfectly. She allegedly cheated, or at minimum, had inappropriate communication with another man while in a relationship. But instead of saying, I made a mistake, or here's the full story, she said, well, Kai watches too much anime and wasn't emotionally available. And some people will buy it. Some people will see that video and think, oh, poor Gigi, she was feeling neglected. It makes sense why she went looking for attention elsewhere. They'll forget about the actual betrayal and focus on whether Kai was a good enough boyfriend. That's how deflection works. And that's why you need to be able to spot it, whether you're watching influencer drama or dealing with your own relationship issues. So what's the real story here? Probably something like this. Kai and Gigi were in a relationship. Maybe Kai was spending a lot of time streaming, gaming, watching anime, doing the things his career and lifestyle involve. Maybe Gigi did feel like she wasn't getting enough emotional attention. That's possible. Relationships where one person is extremely online and busy with work can absolutely have those issues. But instead of communicating that to Kai, instead of working on it together or deciding the relationship wasn't working and ending it respectfully, Gigi allegedly started talking to NBA YoungBoy. Those messages leaked. Kai found out. Kai ended things. And now, Gigi is trying to control the narrative by making it seem like Kai's habits were the real problem, not her actions. She's rewriting the story so that she's the one who was wronged, not the one who did wrong. Is that the absolute truth? I don't know. I'm not in their relationship. Neither is anyone else watching this. But based on the timeline, the evidence, and the way she framed her response video, that's what it looks like from the outside. And it looks suspicious as hell. So Gigi posted a video after allegedly cheating on Kai Cenat with NBA YoungBoy. And instead of addressing that situation directly, she talked about his anime addiction and said, "I just really wanted somebody I could open up to." That's deflection. That's blame shifting. That's taking your own mistakes and finding a way to make them about someone else's flaws. And honestly, it's one of the most common tactics people use when they get caught doing something wrong. Does it mean Kai was a perfect boyfriend? Probably not. Nobody's perfect. Maybe he was spending too much time watching anime. Maybe he could have been more emotionally present. But those are conversations you have before you allegedly cheat, not excuses you give after you get caught. If this breakdown made you see the manipulation tactics at play, if you're realizing how deflection works and how to spot it in your own life, go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now. Because this channel doesn't just cover drama. We break down the psychology behind it. We show you the patterns so you can recognize them when someone tries to pull this on you. Drop a comment and let me know. Have you ever been in a situation where someone deflected blame like this? Where you were the one calling out the problem, but somehow ended up feeling like you were the bad guy? Because that's what Gigi just tried to do to Kai, and I want to know if you've experienced it too. The internet might move on from this drama tomorrow, but the lesson stays the same. When someone does you wrong and then makes it about what you did wrong, that's not accountability. That's manipulation, and you deserve better than that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.